dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I am not 100% prepared there because we have things that didn't need to pop up at the ticker up top. All right, everybody. Good evening. This is Angel Santiago. We are live here from Dover Motor Speedway in beautiful Dover, Delaware. I am joined today with my broadcast partner Daniel Paulus. Daniel, how are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Angel. How about you?
I'm not doing half bad myself. I'm excited. We are here for the season 2 finale of the Roughneck Racing series. Hard to believe that it's already the season finale for us here, and then the fact that, man, I'm already 2 seasons through with this league. It's been a lot of fun this season, though.
It's been a blast, Angel, and it's really shocking how this season went by very fast. And, we end it here at Dover, Delaware. We know this race got replaced earlier on in the season due to certain issues, but we're here at Dover with 24 degrees of banking in each of the 4 turns. And the front and back straightaway aren't flat. They do have banking, and it is 9 degrees banking on the front stretch and back stretch. But we do see some track tempers flare here on these short tracks. It's a championship on the line, so I wouldn't be shocked if we see that here tonight.
And I think you said it perfect, and you're talking about the dimensions here of this track, all the banking you hear in these corners. They don't call this track the self-cleaning track for no reason there. I mean, you have, you can even see it here from this view, the front stretch. They say that when you go into the turns, it's almost like you sink in, and then coming off of the turn, it's like you're climbing a hill. And I feel like people just don't also realize that that really does change your driving. You are now going downhill into the turn, so that's gonna adjust how you would typically brake. There's a lot that goes into it. So, really, I'm very interested to see how these drivers are gonna make it through this track. It's a very challenging track. Wasn't meant to be the final race of the season, but I think that this league has really proven that this should be the final race of the season. We've got some great action here, and it's Dover. It is always so much fun. They were talking about as well during the practice how the with the new update and how you see some of these lines moving around. You see the high side coming in a little bit. So as these tires wear, which they really will on this concrete surface, Daniel's gonna have a lot of fun seeing this, seeing the different grooves move around.
It's going to be a lot of fun, Angel. And when you see these tires start wearing off, you're going to see drivers moving around a lot more, finding that grip on track. But you will see drivers also here on these restarts be very aggressive. And you're going to see trucks actually hit the outside wall, because we have seen that a lot here from Dover. You're going to see that in turn 2 and especially in turn 4 if they're running that high line and they don't have a lot of grip.
You said it best. Miles the Monster here, as they call this mile oval, is he's gonna come out and grab you there off of turn 2 and off of turn 4. It feels like off of turn 2 it seems to happen worse. It feels like you have less room off of turn 2. It's not really the case. I don't know what it is, but turn 2 always seems to be the trickiest. And the ambient temperature is 79 degrees, 54% humidity, minimal wind speed of only 2 miles per hour. Another track temp is hard to see now because it's behind the white wall, but I think it said it was 89 degrees, so it's gonna be a little bit warm. 104 degrees, so it's going to be a little bit warm, but it's actually good for this concrete. You want some heat into it. It really does start to make those tires chew up, and well, it just makes for some fun racing, in my opinion.
And watch when this race start to finish. Watch how this track performs here tonight. And you're going to see that tire rubber get laid down here on the track. So watch the turns especially. You're going to see that lower groove get a lot more darker and darker as the tire wear being laid down on this track, which gives drivers a lot more grip and better handling of their truck.
I think that you hit it on point there. We see Daniel Love here on pole for tonight. We were just chatting before the race, and he said, "I've got a pretty good time, I think, and I'm really hoping I can put it on pole." So congratulations to Daniel. Stephen Shu in second, Chris Barker and Jason Kinney gonna make up row 2. James Wagner and Jeffrey Lefford row 3. Jeffrey Lefford is also, we'll go over points after this. Jimmy Rowdy in 7th, Rick Baldwin in 8th, Jeff Scott and Matthew Gall gonna make up row number 5. Row 6 is gonna be Matthew Barker and Chris Melton. Brandon Hinton and Chris Ramsey make up row 7, and our final row here, Chad Hawkins and Tim Richardson. Now our last 5 drivers from Chris Melton on back did not attempt a qualifying lap.
You see the field now coming on to the concrete surface here from Dover Motor Speedway. See that pace truck leading the field here. Final race, Angel. Our expectations high here tonight. We're going to see a lot of drivers making a lot of aggressive moves. Or we're going to see a lot of cautions. That is yet to be determined, Angel.
Well, I'm going to see people wanting to make some moves. It's the final race of the season. Chris Barker has actually clinched the championship for tonight's race over teammate Jeffrey Ledford, who has also clinched the 2nd position. So tonight's all about going out there and having some fun. Go out there, win a race, carry some momentum into the offseason. Pace truck is down and out. They're going to the Geico restart zone. The final time here in season number 2 for the Roughneck Racing Series. Nope, we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to bring the caution back out one more time.
It was good practice.
It was good practice.
It was, but this does happen here on these short tracks. It's up to race control whether or not they want to throw the green flag. So we're going to go around one more time. The 71's going to lead this pack here, but I want to go back to the 46 really quick, Angel, of Christopher Barker. He's been very good here no matter what style track it is, road course, super speedway, short track. He has been very excellent this whole season, has been up in the top 5, contending for wins, really hasn't DNF'd himself at all this season. So he's basically the strongest driver here tonight, and I wouldn't be shocked if he ended on a high note winning.
Hey, and how else do you go ahead and crown yourself as a champion and going out there and winning the race as well? I really think Chris Barker can do it, running there in the 3rd position. But guess what? Steven Shu's been bad fast, and that's his other teammate right there in the 2nd position. Steven Shu would like to be able to clinch the 3rd position in points here as he's in a battle with Jimmy Rowdy. I'll let you go ahead and take this start away here, Daniel.
71, Daniel Love on the inside. 00, Steven Shu on the outside. Green flags in the air from Dover. Let's go race for a championship.
Drivers dive down here into turn 1 and 2. You'll see them using as much of the lanes as possible, giving each other as much room as they can through these first couple of turns. 16 drivers in tonight's race. Actually, looks like 14. We're going to make the start. 2 had issues getting started. Jason Kinney and Chris Ramsey. And look at the run. Steven Shu is going to get off of turn 4 to get to the outside of Daniel Love. But your pole sitter, Daniel Love, will lead lap 1. Who's going to lead lap 2? It's a good battle for first off of turn 2.
They're going to be side by side, heading down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3. Daniel Love going to have the advantage here over the 00 Steven Shu. They come off turn 4.
How much longer does he have that advantage? He's going to stick it right there. The 71 clears him, but you know what? There's respect amongst these drivers. This is lap 3 of 100. He doesn't need to really quite pull right in front of him. But boy, Steven Shu is staying right there on his right rear quarter panel, trying to stay aggressive. I don't know if that's a good idea. I feel like you're really going to start, using your tires up by doing that.
By racing hard, Angel, you're always going to use your tire wear up no matter what, especially here at Dover Motor Speedway. And you want to try to avoid that because once you start using that tire wear, your truck is going to handle a lot different. It's going to be harder to control. You're going to be flying over the place. You see the 71 there get a little loose out of turn 2.
Getting a little bit loose right now, though. James Wagner, Dougie, in that number 30 truck, he is a man on a mission. He just put down the fastest lap of anybody that previous time. Now, Daniel Love will have surpassed that, but he's in traffic doing so. And he's trying to make up spots where he can right now, looking in on our championship winner right now, Chris Barker, looking there for 3rd as Daniel Love has stayed just in front of Steven Shu for 2nd. We can move down through the rest of the field, and nobody's side by side right now, but I think everybody's just fine with that, Daniel.
Everybody's doing excellent on this start of the race here, but let's go back to the 30, James Wagner. He's had an up and down season. Yes, he's been excellent here in these last few races, had chances to win them, just didn't execute as planned. But don't forget, he's been out for a couple races this season due to some other stuff going on in his life right now. But you see, right now he's doing really well, but currently 4th, currently inside the top 5. So that's another strong driver to watch for tonight.
Yeah, you see Jeffrey Ledford looking there on the outside now. I want to thank all of our fans right now as well watching on our YouTube channel. As you see, James Wagner got a good run there off of turn 4. Now looking to the inside of Barker. We thank you guys. We know you guys have been in chat with us all season long, chatting with us. So we really do appreciate it. We enjoy it. And yeah, keep shouting out who you want to be able to shout out. We do have 100 laps for tonight's race. 100 laps at Dover can be both
fast.
short and it can feel like a long time, but yes, you're right. It can also be very short, very quick because 100 laps at a mile track. Wait, is okay. Sorry, that was a different truck. 100 laps at a mile track is simply 100 miles. It can go by quickly, but you have these long green flag runs, and once these tires start to wear out, oh my goodness, it feels like you've been up on the wheel this entire time, and you just exhausted. You're like, come on, give me a caution already.
You're correct there, Angel. I mean, especially with long green flag runs, it'll go by so quick. And when you're a driver, you're not even thinking about laps. You just keep going after each lap. Sometimes you don't even know what lap you're on. You just keep racing. But you see right there, 71 Daniel Love. Could he get his first career win here in the season closer here at Dover Motor Speedway? That is still to be determined here. Currently leading, has been very strong in this early on.
Now, do you see what he's doing? Now, he has now moved up to the high side there in 3 and 4. We'll see if he does the same thing in 1 and 2. He's going to stick a little lower, which is about, you don't want to run any higher in 1 and 2. You can run higher in 3 and 4 here than you can in 1 and 2. He seems to be making it work right now, but man, Steven Shoe's all over his back bumper, and I think Steven Shoe's got the faster truck right now. I don't know if maybe just a faster truck or has done a better job saving his tires. But right now, all Daniel's doing is just making it difficult for Steven by getting to the outside and carrying the momentum. You see, he just kind of floats up the racetrack and then kind of just shoots it back down, really just using momentum to his advantage, which is super important as these tires start to age, although he's moving a little higher there in 3 and 4 than I'd feel comfortable with.
You're going to see a lot of drivers that are going to use that middle and top groove because that is where you're going to get a quick corner exit and you're going to get a run. So if you're the 00 is Steven Shooter right now, you're going to want to try to follow his path, but you're also going to want to try to get a good run here as we take a look at a replay. A caution has come out here.
See, this is the 0-1 of Jeffrey Ledford. Coming off of turn 2. Oh, he wasn't clear of the 29, and I think that in that situation, it looks like the two trucks just got hooked together. Has that ever happened to you, Daniel, where you're just so close, and then once they get hooked, they are hooked, and there's nothing you can do?
There's nothing that you can do at that point when you are hooked. You know, you're just along for the ride. But that has happened to me, especially at Bristol. You know, I'm coming off of turn number 4, and I think that I'm clear, but obviously the driver behind me got a huge run. I wasn't clear. I got clipped. Ended my night, but, you know, it's just a racing incident that happens here on these short tracks. No matter what short track you go to, it's going to happen. And it could happen one race. It couldn't happen the other race. It just happens at these short tracks, and it doesn't shock me that we wouldn't see one here tonight. But obviously, we did see one here.
Yeah, and here it is, our first set of drivers making their way down pit lane. Let's see a different view of them, at least. Chris Melton, Jeffrey Ledford, well, he had no choice. He needed to come in and take his fast repair. Brandon Hinton, Matthew Ace. Spoke with him earlier today as well. He said it's been a disappointing season for him, so I think nobody would be happier than to get back into Victor Lane than Matthew Ace, who's just, definitely had a disappointing season. I don't think he's got to win this season, to be honest with you. So he'll be looking to show that up. I'll just double check. But let's actually go ahead and bring in your pole sitter here, Daniel Love. He decided not to hit pit lane, so I don't see him. So we'll get him a message maybe to get into Discord so that we can get a chat with our pole sitter. So what we'll take a brief break. The lights are off on the pace car?
They are.
I couldn't tell.
No, they're not.
No, they're not. All right, so we're going to go ahead and give our first commercial break here of the evening for AdminBoxx. Of course, thank you for jumping on for this season for the Roughneck Racing Series. So hang on tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Once again, thank you to AdminBoxx for joining in here on the season. We're about to hit one to go. Daniel, if you couldn't tell, these drivers are eager. They're about lined up side by side already before they've even crossed the line to get that one to go.
They are eager, but don't forget, it's early on this race. Yeah, we're 17 laps in out of 100, but I would try to stay calm, see where my truck is handling, see what grooves work the best and what don't work the best for your handling, and just see how your car is handling the first half of the race. After lap 50, that's when I would start making moves here and try to see how I can get myself to the front and contend for a win here in this finale.
Also, a fair warning to everybody. As much as I would love to say this is there shouldn't be an issue, my girlfriend and I adopted a husky mix 6-month-old rescue this past weekend. This is my first broadcast with him home. We are hoping he stays quiet. There's no guarantees, so just in case, everybody, so you're aware, he's still in training, but he's a good boy. So we're getting ready to go green now. Just wanted to throw that out for everybody, just in case. We don't know what's gonna happen here.
Got the EOL on that one, Angel.
I feel like it could have been considered a racing incident, but maybe it's 29.
29 got his nose up in there and held a straight line. But, yeah, I threw it on the 01 on that one, even though it was a tough call.
That can be considered as well. He looks like he moved up the track just ever so slightly to cause that. So thank you very much, Paul. We're green flag racing again as Daniel Love gets a great start here from our drone cam as they go down the backstretch here into turn number 3.
See right there, 71 of Daniel Love leading the pack here on the front straightaway. Has been dominating so far tonight here, Angel.
I love this view of these trucks as they just sink in. This is what we're talking about, how they just sink into the corner and then you see them just drive up off of it. That's a hill. That really can make it difficult, especially if you have an ill-handling truck. Man, now you got to contend with a track that really is not pleasant to drive sometimes. Look at this. Rick Baldwin has made his way into the second position. He's up 6 spots here from his starting position from 8th. Right now, though, Tim Richardson, the biggest mover of the race, up 9. Now, that last caution, we had 9th through 14th pit. Considering we had about 12 laps of green flag runs, and we are only going to get about 25 laps for the 4 total sets for tonight's race. I would have stayed out, and I think that was the right decision, but hey, some of these guys looking to make up some spots if they weren't doing anything successful beforehand.
One driver that shocks me right now is the 46 of Christopher Barker. He lost 2 positions, currently P5. You know, I thought he would be up in first, literally leading every lap. Obviously not with Daniel Love, which doesn't surprise me. They're all good drivers here, but you would think you would see a lot more out of this 46 team just because he's winning races the whole season and whatnot.
Yeah, luckily, going back to the chat, sorry, luckily, I think the TD process is over. In 6 months, I think he's got most of his teeth, hopefully. But he does have a little bit chewing toy for that. No, but, and you're right, with Daniel Love right now, the fact that we haven't always seen him running up front, and right now he's just putting on a performance usually seen by Chris Barker. But this is also a track that, Daniel, it is hard to pass here. You have to have just a perfect lap and wait for that guy in front of you to also make a mistake. And it seems frustrating, but at the same time, it's also so much fun because it really forces you to stay up on that wheel as hard as you can every single lap because you cannot miss that opportunity because nothing is more frustrating when the guy in front of you makes a mistake and you're not there to pounce on it. As you see, the 46 is looking to do on goal, but even tagging the wall still wasn't enough to get under him.
And, you know, it's very hard to pass here, like you said, Angel, but if you make one little mistake, you can lose multiple positions here, and that's frustrating for these drivers. And I know if a driver does have a mistake in front of them, they want to take that shot at it, try to get that position here. As you see, little contact between the 00 of Steven 2 and the 19 of Rick Baldwin out of turn 4. You're also seeing other drivers here also hitting that outside wall, like I mentioned early on in this pre-race.
Oh, you see a couple drivers right there in the back. Jimmy Rowdy was very loose. I don't see who else that was. May have been that 25 of Brandon Hinton, but couldn't tell. They got extremely loose. They're off of 2, and you see, look what's happening already. A lot of these drivers getting extremely loose. That was the 01 of Jeffrey Ledford. And even then, he's still on somewhat fresher, well, definitely fresher tires, having pit on that last caution. So, man, you see these drivers, and look at the rubber buildup there on the outside where, well, I mean, you can see it on the groove itself, but then all that, the marbles up top, This definitely is a spot you don't want to get into. Getting into the marbles here on iRacing, especially here at Dover, can really affect the handling of your truck, even for a lap or two, but it's enough for someone like Daniel Love, he could lose the 0.4 of a second lead he has in an instant if he gets up in the marbles.
Or he could end up in the wall.
Yeah, and he can easily end up in the wall, and then just like that, his lead is erased, and he's back there. He'd probably still be in second. They've got now a 2.5 second lead over Steven Shu, so forget what I said about Daniel Love and his tire saving ability. He's done a great job, it seems like, saving his tires, pulling away, but Rick Baldwin, he is stood right with them this entire time, and I think that goes to show these two drivers are doing a great job saving their tires. And you're right, Barker is someone who usually we do see this out of, but right now, mired back there in 5th, and now under attack from from Chris Melton. Jason Kinney is not on the same lap as these guys. He had some issues coming on or getting onto the track, I think with some internet issues. So here we are, lap 31 now. Daniel Love's got himself a 0.6 of a second lead, holding about that, between that and about a 0.5 second lead over Rick Baldwin. He hasn't pit yet. Assuming he has to pit sometime in the next 15 to 20 laps or so. Are you looking to pit earlier in this window, or are you looking to try to stretch it to the end?
Well, they're going to have to come down pit road and get fuel. But, you know, so far the 71 and the 19, both of them have pulled away significantly over the rest of the pack right now. You know, you can even see them in the camera angle. I mean, look how far out they are. So, I mean, they're doing an excellent job, but I do expect them to come down pit road. They're probably going to get some tires, because that tire wear is going to get really bad to the point where they can't even control their truck. So they're going to probably come down pit road, get tires, and a splash.
Yeah, and right now, the guy in the move is Chris Melton, where his tires are almost probably about 15 laps old. However, they're not the original set of tires he has. So for someone like him, he needs anybody who pit on that last caution needs this to run to the very end of your fuel window, so that you can get back on that same strategy of tires. But man, even then, they've still got at least a set of tires, so it's going to be difficult for some of these drivers who already pit.
It's going to be difficult, but that's the monster mile for you. It's a difficult track, hard to pass that. You can make easy mistakes, and drivers get very upset from this track, but it doesn't surprise me. You know, it's a short track, and Kemper's too flare here, like I mentioned all the time. As you see right there, the 49 passing the 78. That is Chris Melton in the 49. Now moving up the 3rd spot, straight there, the 30 of James Wagner. Right now, currently P9, but he gets passed by the 96 of Matthew Ace.
I do this again where I don't have the steering wheel, so we can't even tell yet. We can listen to his throttle as well, though. It seems pretty comfortable, but man, Rick Baldwin is staying close. Only 0.2 behind right now.
And if you listen closely, Angel, you can hear those tires screeching on that concrete surface.
Yeah. Turn it up a little bit. You hear them screeching for sure right now. What's our current weather update look like? Still, now the track temp is at 90 degrees. The track temp has actually gone down by 10 degrees from when we started this race. Now that is interesting to me there. What do you think about that, Daniel? Now that's just going to give him a little bit more grip, especially as this long run. I can see why some of these drivers are maybe struggling with this tire wear. The track is starting to get faster.
Well, that's going to happen, Angel, no matter what track you're at. But, when the weather changes, that means your truck is going to change too, depending on the temperature and whatnot here at Dover Motor Speedway. See right there the 30 of James Wagoner there. Very loose there off of turn 2, but keeps it straight. And you see right behind him the 01 truck.
Yeah, it's Jeffrey Ledford. James Wagoner has not pit yet. So, and again, we all imagine, again, with about 75% fuel load for these trucks, caution laps, they're probably about 50 laps, I'm going to say, maybe for their fuel run. So, you really only have to make one more fuel run. And someone like Chris Melton, he's trying to get this to go as long as he can, so that he can continue to gain with his fresh tires, because he's without a doubt gaining on Daniel Love and Chris Melton. That last time around was almost a tenth quicker. So in the regards of Daniel and Rick definitely having to pit earlier for fuel alone, if you're Chris Daniel, are you staying out and just running it to the end, or are you now forced to pit with these guys because of the difference that tires can make? I mean, we're 2 seconds off of our fastest lap for some of these drivers.
Well, the one thing we want to look out for here is when Daniel Love does come down pit road, the other drivers will follow, or it doesn't have to be the leader. If somebody else decides to come down pit road, that's going to ring the bell in another driver's mind saying, maybe I should come down pit road, get service done, so it's done and out of the way, so we're all basically leading the same amount of laps here at the same time, and they're not going to be falling off as much, and they will stay in competition here. As you see the 25 truck, that's Brandon Hinton right on the inside of the 00 of Steven Chu coming off turn number 4.
Yeah, and he's using these fresh tires to his advantage. So this is where it works out for a driver like Brandon, who he's now moved up 8 spots from where he was back in 13th. And he was about in the back end of the top 10, maybe just outside of it, where it's taken the entire run. But because this entire run has gone green, again, his tires are still just a little bit fresher. They'll equalize a little bit, but regardless, they're still going to be fresher. And it's allowed him to move up to the field. And remember, we talked about earlier how difficult it is to pass. It's easier to pass when you got fresher tires. And we see Jeff Scott and James Wagoner have made their way down pit lane. So here it is, our first stops here on lap 46. But we go back to that point where if you pit, or if you keep waiting, they're going to be gaining, 1 to 2 seconds. Well, I say 1 to 1.5 seconds to be, fairly equal. A lap on you, where that's a lot of time. That's time you cannot afford to lose. Chris Melton right now 2 seconds behind leader. Could you imagine now losing more time after that? I really think the moment the leader pits, you got to go with him if you're not going to pit before him.
I totally agree, Angel.
As you see now, battle between Steven Chu, Jeffrey Ledford, and Matthew Ace. Jeffrey and Matthew did pit on that last time. As we see Steven and Chris Barker, they're slowly kind of just falling back through the field. Now, here it is, our next set of drivers, Steven Chu, Jeffrey Ledford. Jeffrey had pit on that last time, so that answers that question on who of the drivers who pit on the last caution are coming in and when. Chris Barker, Tim Richardson, they'll make their way down pit lane for the first time as well tonight.
See right there, 71, Daniel Love. Still clicking in laps here. That's going pretty fast, Angel. We're heading to the halfway point of this race already, which is pretty impressive here. So far, we only had one caution here tonight from Dover. It was just a minor incident, but these drivers are putting on a heck of a show here tonight.
Oh, man, it's one of those things that I love me about Dover. You can have some great action when you have a good group of drivers who respect each other, but you also have to respect the track. And remember, that's like, what Mark Martin's always said, you really have to run, you have to race the racetrack like Darlington, Dover. These are tracks that you can't focus on everybody else. You got to focus on the track itself. If you can do that, odds are you can probably end up with a top 10. And as we're talking, Daniel Love and Chad Hawkins have made their way down pit lane. So Daniel Love pits first. Chris Melton had not. Daniel pit on that last time. Or, sorry, of course, just now. As Chris Melton assumes the lead along with Rick Baldwin. So everybody's staying out one more lap past the leader. Maybe, of course, they're hoping for a caution that'll pin him a lap down.
Right there, the 49 and Chris Melton has also had an up and down season here, Angel. What do you think about this driver in the 49 this season?
Well, Chris, he was a late season addition to the league, along with his teammate Brandon Hinton, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Hinton's in a Ford. And he kind of made a splash almost immediately, getting pole. I think that's the one he tied with Steven Shu as he makes it down pit lane. Wow, I can't believe he didn't slam into the tire or into the water barriers. Unbelievable there for Chris Melton. Hopefully he wasn't speeding coming down pit lane.
And this is what you don't want to happen here on your final race here in the season. You don't want to make any mistakes coming on and off pit road. That would be speeding, of course, and locking up the brakes, because if you do that, you could get a potential black flag, and that is what you want to try to avoid here, especially as short track, Angel, because if that does happen, you could go a lap down or multiple laps down.
Yeah, no, and going anything more than a lap down here is it's it'll virtually end your night. As we did make it past the halfway point. That's Daniel Love, as he is now making his way past some of these drivers. You see Rick Baldwin coming off pit lane, Chris Melton coming off pit lane there. So we'll have to see if he's got, if he's going to gain on that 2-second difference on Melton, although the big difference is going to be for Chris Baldwin, who was not. Wow, he was also 2 seconds back. So Chris Melton didn't really lose a ton. He did a great job coming on and off pit lane. Wow, the pit lane difference is 2.5 seconds between Chris Melton and Daniel Love. That is a lot of time, and that's why Chris did not lose much time coming in a lap later. That is great job there on Chris. That's a ton of time to gain on pit lane. I'm sorry for everybody. I'm not saying I'm fangirling, but that 2.5 seconds, it's what he should have lost on the exchange of staying out 2 laps longer, but 3 laps longer, I'm sorry. But because he didn't, I mean, now Daniel Love is pulling away. Don't know how much tire saving Chris Melton might be doing. Daniel Love's tires have also warmed up. But Chris Melton also has Rick Baldwin right on him, so he's got a challenge for second to allow Daniel Love to pull away ever so more and then just kind of pace himself to the end of this race if he can.
After all, pit cycles is all back in the hands of the 71 of Daniel Love. Angel, if you want to pass Daniel Love tonight, what do you think you're going to have to do?
You're not beating him on speed right now, so at this point, I'd almost argue your bet is made. So go out there, run hard, try to get as far to the front as you possibly can. Try to short pit him on the next one if you have a need for pits. If you don't have a need for pits, then you're just gonna have to hope for a caution. You definitely have to come in for tires there. I don't care how many laps are left. You gotta come in for tires. Unless if it's a green-white checkered situation, but at that point, it's been 40, 50 laps on your set of tires. There's no way you can hold anybody off at that point. You still gotta come in, I feel like. You have to beat him on a restart. I think that's gonna be the way to do it.
I couldn't agree anymore. As you see right now, the 49 still having a great battle there with the 19 of Rick Baldwin. Rick Baldwin, the only Toyota right now in the top 3. Just outside of the top 3, currently P4 is Steven Shu, and rounding out your top 5 is the 01 of Jeffrey Ledford.
Yeah, we got to go ahead and go through the rest of the field while we are at it. Chris Barker, your championship driver right now in 6th. James Dougie Wagner there in 7th. Again, thank you to his fathers, James Wagner's Welding, for sponsoring the league here for the season, and again for AdminBoxx. You got Matthew Gall here in 8th. Brandon Hinton from Speedway, Indiana in 9th. Well, I was just racing these trucks at IRP yesterday, so not far from his hometown. Matthew Ace from Roaring River, North Carolina, gonna round out your top 10. Jimmy Rowdy, who really is trying to fight for a third position in the points, 5 points behind Steven Shu coming into tonight's race. Right now, Steven in 4th, Jimmy in 11th, so he's going to have some work to do if he wants to have a chance to surpass and get a podium, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think I overheard in the driver's meeting today. I decided to butt myself in that there is a trophy for the podium drivers, so I think that's definitely something for Jimmy to fight for over the final 37 laps of this race. Tim Richardson in 12th and Chad Hawkins in 13th round out your lead lap cars. Jeff Scott's in 14th, Chris Ramsey in 15th, and Jason Kinney in the number 66 Chevrolet is your only truck that is already retired for tonight's race. I think right now, Daniel, would be a perfect time for a crank it up, a turn it up session here on the Sim Racing Media Network. So, everybody watching, always remember that if you are listening with headphones, make sure that you turn down volume, because we will be turning up the sounds of these engines. So go out there, enjoy. We'll be back here in a couple of laps. All right, Daniel, I think we've had our fun here. Hopefully everybody as well got to enjoy the amazing views that we get here of these trucks. We got now almost 3/4 of the way this race completed now, of course, on lap number 74. Daniel Love, your leader. You know what was a great view there, Daniel, that I loved in that turn it up session was seeing these trucks get right up off of these corners, and I don't know how they're not smacking the wall.
It doesn't look like they're going fast at all, Angel, but let me tell you, they do go fast here at Dover. And, you know, it was really fun to watch when we were doing that turn-up session, riding along on that onboard camera, seeing those drivers' hands, see how hard it is to control your truck here at Dover, and watching them actually come off of turn number 2, going down the hill and going back up the hill. That's very exciting to watch.
Oh, there goes Matthew Ace, smacks the wall from there off of turn 2. We just kept talking about it, how easy it is, and Miles the Monster decided he wanted somebody there. 25 now, yes, 25 laps to go, 24 when they come across the line here. Daniels led almost all of them, probably a good 90% of them. Right now, our closest battle on track is Jeffrey Lefford and Chris Barker, who, you know, I know Chris is ready to go ahead and take maybe just a subtle approach to tonight's race, but definitely, and you know, he's rooting for his teammate Steven Shute to have a good race. But I think Steven Shute's doing fine on his own. Barker should be out there trying to go win this race.
I totally agree, Angel. And you see the 46, he's been making aggressive moves. He's been trying to get around, but it's just that hard to get that run here from Dover. He can run that high line. He's in that marble area up there, not where you want to be, because that will get your truck loose. You see him fall off a little bit from the 01 to Jeffrey Ledford, and now you see the 25 reeling him into closer and closer, but that 46 starts going, coming off of turn number 2 again with a great run, gets a little loose there.
Yeah, we talked about that, you know, Barker again and Ledford teammates having locked up first and second in the championship, so with a 5-point difference for their teammate over the 4th place driver, you know, they're going to be working hard trying to find every line that works and feeding him as much information as possible to try to give him the best race. As if Steven Shute isn't already one of our quicker drivers, having had pole position multiple times already this year. But, you know, it's nice when you have your teammates who seemingly are out there. Whoa, is Barker gets stuck right behind a lap truck. I thought for sure that could have been bad. You know, he had to let up big time there. Ooh, that was Brandon Hinton took advantage of it. He went ahead and took that spot away from your championship leader right now.
We sure did, and like what we mentioned earlier on, Angel, is one little mistake. Those drivers are looking to get the advantage on you, so you want to be very careful here on short tracks. It's not Dover, but mostly all the short tracks.
Dover is just so much fun when you get to come here, and this is honestly one of the better races I've had the pleasure of calling for Dover. So these drivers are putting on a great show. I know that if you haven't had a chance to to race at Dover, maybe it's hard to tell, but man, these drivers are just working hard right now, especially how old these tires are. They're on 30, 40 lap old tires. It is worn. They have not had much of any brakes at all tonight. So I'll tell you this much. Some of these drivers, their arms, they're starting to cramp. They're getting a little tired. They haven't had this experience. And of course, it has to come at a track that's just a little bit more physically grueling than you would argue for some of the other ones.
I mean, it is hard, Angel, especially when your hands start hurting. You know, you're not going to be able to control the truck as well with your hands cramping and your arms cramping. But it does happen here at these road tracks, especially if we do have these long green flag runs. You know, everybody's all tensed up, ready to race, trying to gain as much track position as possible. I know this sport is very tense. It's mind challenging, but you know, a lot of these drivers, they put time and effort into getting their trucks exactly how they want it to be, and it does take a lot of time to do that. And it's great to see these drivers come out every week and perform to the best of their ability and prove themselves. You know, hey, I can race around other drivers. It's you know, it's just a positive outcome for all of them.
And you see that Matthew Ace looking now to the inside of Chris Barker. Man, I remember Barker maybe also used up some of his stuff really to start this run, expecting that caution. Maybe at least just was hoping for it. But man, this is just one of those things that, on top of the fact that what you were talking about, the physical, is just this mental aspect where sometimes you just get mentally tired, and that's all it takes for you to make just the slightest of mistakes. And right, oh my goodness, right there, Ledford just smacks the wall hard. That's going to cost him 6. Brandon Hinton just says, all right, you guys just keep having issues, and I'll just keep picking you off one by one.
You're going to see drivers just like that, Angel, where they're going to be just doing their own thing, running their own line, taking their time, and just waiting for these mistakes to happen, just, so then they can get around them, get in position while the other drivers are having a really hard time handling because they're trying to keep that track position. But you see right there, 25, just one spot out of the top 5, just needs to get past the 00 Steven Chu. You see right there, Chris Melton now taking a lead away from Daniel Levin at 71 for the first time, Angel.
Did we miss? We just completely missed this. Daniel Love got hunted down by Chris Melton in the closing laps. Let's see if we can get a general idea. I mean, he was already closing in. Oh, Daniel Love he smacked a wall. He got caught up behind the lap truck, and he smacked a wall hard off of turn 2. And that could very well cost Daniel Love, your pole sitter, and the guy who's dominated today's race. It could cost him here in the final 15 laps.
That's got to be very heartbreaking for that 71 machine. It's been very good. What a way it would have been for him to close out the season right on top, winning here at Dover Speedway. It's not over yet. He can still gain that track position on Chris Melton, but the question is, does he have that tire wear now?
Well, he did pit 3 laps earlier than Chris as well, so that's not going to help him. And right there, you saw in 3 and 4, he got onto the apron ever so slightly. He's going to have to stay up off of it if he wants an opportunity to be able to keep up with Chris. But, man, Chris is right now picking them up, putting them down lap-wise. It is now going to be 9 laps to go as Chris crosses the line. At this point right now, Daniel, will be hoping for a caution if he's got an opportunity to win this race. Now, Daniel's quick, though. Let's not forget that. So, and then the question is, man, we can have a fight to the battle right there. So they're going to come up on a lap truck now with 8 laps to go here in the James Wagner's Welding 100. Again, big shout out to James Wagner's Welding for jumping on board here for the season. AdminBoxx as well for jumping on board with the Roughneck Racing Series. We've closing out this 12 race season has been an absolute blast as we close out the last 7 laps of this season 2 finale. I have to say that Dover today has truly shown this track or this league's ability as right in front of the leader. We got a battle between Matthew Ace and Jimmy Rowdy. I'm sure he doesn't want to see these guys battling right in front of him. This could also affect how this race finishes out. 6 to go.
Nice little battle going on right there. 29 and the 96 solid side by side. See right there, the 49 going to start putting people a lap down. You can see Matthew Ace get hard into the wall there off of turn 2. Angel, looks like turn 2's been given a really hard struggle for most of these drivers here tonight.
Turn 2's a struggle for me off of here, man. It will come out there and grab you. I'm telling you, if you are just giving it ever, and you can think, oh no, I'm good. I'm not pushing it too hard, and you still smack the wall. As Chris has now come up on this lap traffic, he's already seen half of his lead shrink to Daniel Love. The question is, if Daniel catches him, does he have anything for him? As Chris is just trying to find his way through traffic, as he's got 2 trucks in front of him battling for position right now. That is for the A spot, and for Rowdy, he's got to fight for every position he gets in case something happens to Steven Chu right in front of him, where he can gain the positions he needs to be able to get third in the points. As Chris Melton, your leader, going to tag the wall there off of 2. He is a man on a mission trying to get through these lap trucks, as now Daniel Love is stuck behind some of these same guys. 3 to go as they come here off of 4.
That's going to hurt the 71 of Daniel Love getting stuck in that traffic there, Angel. And that's another negative thing about these short tracks is once you get caught in that traffic, it's really hard to get out of that traffic. So you see right there, 71. Just not enough time here, but he's put on a great show this season for us to watch.
And this is something that you don't see very often at all, or something I feel like I have not had to say at all this season, as Chris Barker would be in danger of going a lap down here should this race go any longer, James Wagoner had to pit, so he came off of pit lane with fresher tires. 2 to go there for Chris Melton as they head into turns 3 and 4. One lap to go here for the Roughneck Racing Series Season 2 finale. We've already mentioned that Chris Barker, who's right in front of your leader, in danger of going a lap down. He was crowned your champion after last week. But going here into 3 and 4, he's had an up and down season, Daniel, as you've mentioned. But Chris Melton will take the monkey off his back. He's going to win here at Dover to cap off what has been a fantastic season for the Roughneck Racing Series.
49 kept it straight once he got past the 71 of Daniel Love. Got that win here at Dover Nifty's finale. Congratulations to Chris Melton. And Angel, look who finished second right now. It's the 71 of Daniel Love, and I bet he is not happy with that lap car that cost him that win here tonight. Because if not for the lap car, he would have probably won. You see right there, finished in P3, Rick Baldwin.
And the worst part is that the lap truck that got in front, it wasn't even entirely in front of him. It's like the truck was trying to give him the room, but it was just, sometimes it really is the timing of where you catch these guys. And unfortunate for Daniel, it's probably the worst way that could have happened for him. So let's go ahead and bring in your winner here. Hold on just a moment. Oh, okay, that's not the view we wanted. Hold on. All right, well, once I stop pressing the wrong button, there we go. We'll just stick with this one. And let's see if he jumps into chat. All right, so he's not in. I don't see the Discord, so we'll go ahead. Daniel was also not in our Discord. So I think we'll just go ahead and have to bring in Rick Baldwin. Rick, this is Angel and Daniel here in the SRM broadcast booth. You got us, buddy.
Hey, how y'all?
Well, we couldn't find first and second, so we get to bring in third place here for what was a quiet day for you. But, man, you ran top 2, top 3 almost the entire night. What more did you need to maybe put on a battle to those two guys in front of you?
If I would have saved a little more in the beginning, but I think everyone was trying to do that, so it was hard to judge how slow to go so I could go fast later.
Oh, I hate that. You were trying to figure, yeah, exactly, because when you know, the idea of saving tire is, okay, well, I'm judging myself off of the guys around me, they're pushing it, so I know not to. But if they're also trying to save tires, then, well, we're all still on the same page here, so that's understandable, Rick. But overall, a very clean race. One, I don't know if we had a second caution there at all. Is this something you anticipated, and did you have to change your strategy around going into or during the middle of the race compared to what you expected going into it?
It is surprising, but the way I practice, run a lot of laps, so I always expect a long run, and I try to drive not expecting a caution to save me.
Yeah, I think that's the right idea, and I think that's the right way to finish third at a track like Dover. So, Rick, I'll go ahead and I'll let you shout out your friends, family, any sponsors you might have before we let you go celebrate this podium finish to round out the season.
Yeah, thanks. I'd like to thank Team Roughneck and Wagner's Welding and AdminBoxx for supporting our league, and thanks to my family for watching and all my teammates.
We do appreciate that very much. I hope you enjoyed your off season here. We'll see you, well, I'm pretty sure soon. Let's see if we can't get you in victory lane for that first race of the next season.
Yeah, I'll see y'all next season. Thank you.
All right, Daniel, let's go ahead and bring in our champion. Let's go ahead and give you an opportunity to bring in our champion. As you see them slowly slide here into the picture, second and third in this. All right, Chris Barker, as he slowly rolls here into the picture with his two Foothills Motorsports teammates with him. Our champion for Season 2, Chris Barker. This is Angel and Daniel in the SRM broadcast booth. You got us, buddy?
Yeah, loud and clear.
All right, buddy. Well, I told Daniel give him the opportunity to interview here, but I at least want to first congratulate you and I must say, it must have been at least a nice feeling to spend 8 hours on the spreadsheet instead of 8 hours on the racetrack practicing.
Yep.
I'll let you explain that one later for everybody else. Daniel, go ahead.
10-4.
Well, Chris, I want to congratulate you on an excellent season. It's been fun watching you this whole season. Let us know, us fans and broadcasters, what it was like from the start of the season to where we finish now here at Dover.
It's been crazy. I got, I think, 5 or 6 poles, and that kept me out front mostly. I didn't win, but I think 2 maybe.
3 wins.
And-
3 wins, Chris. You can give yourself that credit.
Yeah. It's just consistency. I don't think I've had a finish outside the top 10.
So today wasn't quite the day, though.
No, we were just, we were hanging back. We want to stay near Steven. So,
that's fair.
if we needed to
Absolutely.
help him out. So, we wasn't trying to push too hard. We just want to finish the race.
All right, Daniel, I jumped in. I'm sorry. You go. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish.
It's fine, Angel. But Chris, what was it like here tonight from Dover? How was your truck handling? How was the grip level, especially because I did see a lot of truck drivers have some difficulty in those turns, especially turn 2, bouncing off the wall.
Yeah, it's tough. There at the beginning, it seemed like everybody was wanting to go really hard, and you want to conserve, but you also want to stay with the pack. So it's kind of a tough balance. But it stayed green most of the race. I was surprised by that. So I mean, it was a pretty good race. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
All right, and do you have anybody you would like to thank here for the finale here from Dover?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. James Wagner's Welding, and I think AdminBoxx, the sponsors, Roughneck for putting this thing on. Y'all guys, y'all do a great job. My teammates, no way could I have won this thing without them. It makes a huge difference having a team that works together. And my wife and kids for letting me play this game so much.
Yeah, it's important to thank the wife for sure. We couldn't do it without them. Well, congratulations, Chris, on a fantastic season.
On that
again.
note, she loves watching y'all. She watches every week.
I will tell her she's got to come chat. She's got to jump in chat with us. We got a lot of people in chat.
Oh, all right, I'll tell her.
Well, we have some exciting races. Sometimes I forget to go over there and look, but I'll do my best. So, all right, Chris, congratulations again on the championship, and we'll see you next season.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, Daniel, let's go ahead and we still got at least a race to go over and the finish of it. It was a great race. Was it? Am I correct? Did we have just this one caution?
We only did have one caution, Angel. This race was really, really good, and I expected maybe 2 or 3 cautions, but they proved us wrong here tonight. They brought on some great racing action. We did see some drivers having a little difficulty in turns 2 and 4 like we expected to, but let's talk about that grip level for a second, Angel. That was a real killer for most of these drivers here tonight, because once that tire wear was gone, it made their truck very, very loose.
You are right. Once it was gone, exactly, it was gone. So it's all about trying to manage the tires that you that you were given, of course, but you also have to really be able to adjust on the fly. And I know it's one of the things that I've struggled the most in as a racer, where you just have to remember to adjust your racing, or adjust, your line, adjust your the throttle and brake inputs for that tire wear. As the track changes, we saw it dropped 15 degrees from let's see, I don't know if bringing it up now will show. Okay, so about 92 degrees. So it fluctuated, but dropped 10 to 15 degrees almost, and that's a lot more grip. And you're right, like I said, a lot of these drivers, you see Rick Baldwin talking about having wished he could have saved more tires, and again, that could have been part of it, where the grip level was increased, and you're kind of used to, oh no, I can back off here and there, and no, turns out you're going faster than you anticipated. Daniel, I'll let you go ahead and read from the top to finish us off here for the season.
All right, here's our finishing results for the finale here at Dover to end this season 2. Not our pole winner, but our winner here tonight from Dover Motor Speedway is the 49 of Chris Melton. He finishes on top. finishing second. We have the 71 of Daniel Love. Had an excellent night here tonight. And P3, we have Rick Baldwin. Just outside your top 3, we have the 78 of Matthew Gall. 5th place, Brandon Hinton, rounding out your top 5. Finishing 6th is Stephen Shu. 7th, Jeffrey Ledford. 8th, Christopher Barker. 9th, Jimmy Rowdy. 10th, Matthew Ace. And just right outside your top 10, we have 11th, Tim Richardson. 12th, James Wagner. 13th, Jeff Scott. 14th, Chad Hawkins. 15th, Chris Ramsey. And rounding out your field in 16th, Jason Kinney.
Well, Daniel, I have to say that was a very successful season. I appreciate you coming on board here for the season. If you're not back with us next season, it is a shame. But hey, we've had a blast. If so, hey, we'll all be happy to be back. But nonetheless, if he isn't, it's because we put him on another show somewhere here on Wednesday nights.
It's been a blast here, Angel. You know, it's been fun broadcasting this Truck Series season with you. And I don't know where you'll be next season, but I know if we are paired again, it will be a fun and exciting season too. And I want to congratulations to the 46 of Christopher Barker for putting on a great season here in the Roughneck Racing League. I know everybody's been friendly, but you know, we have to close this chapter and start a new one. And I don't know what series it'll be. I know it'll be a series. We're working on it. But, Angel, it's been a blast here. And I can't wait to see next season how it goes. Even if I'm not broadcasting this series, I'm sure they're going to put on a heck of a show.
Oh, they will. We have some exciting news for that, hopefully here in the near future as to what they decide and if they're going to be doing something a little bit different. But look forward to hopefully be on the Sim Racing Media Network. Just because this season ends, they don't usually take too long. Give it a couple of weeks, but we know we'll love to see you guys back when that happens. We have plenty of other action going on and a lot of leagues starting up, Daniel, here. As the new year rolls along, you know, a lot of leagues tend to take some weeks off for the holidays. We're ramping it right back up here. We're going to have, I think, 3 or 4 new ones jumping on board.
We're going to have a lot of new series joining.
So we are excited.
Stay tuned, folks. It's going to be 2024 is going to bring a lot of big changes. We know the announcements are coming soon, but that is something to be very excited about. I know 2024 is going to bring us a long way and closer together, and that is what is the exciting part about this, and it's very fun to do.
Oh, absolutely. We love to do it here in the Sim Racing Media Network, and you know what, the feelings is mutual here with the Roughneck Racing Series. They've done a great job of making us feel so welcome and loved. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for all the friends, family, and fans watching of our drivers here on the Roughneck Racing Series. From Daniel Paulus, myself, Angel Santiago, and the whole Sim Racing Media Network, have a great rest of your evening. Go ahead and go check out some of those other races we've got going on. Some exciting action going. Have a great night, everybody.